it's done it again. Why does it go? Why does it go so close up? That is so weird. And then if I do it that way, it totally works. Hello, everyone. Good morning. Oh man, I've been doing Facebook Live, not Twitter Live, and Twitter's really weird. I'm trying to do it landscape, and yeah. Anyway, it doesn't matter at all. How are you all doing? It's very early, isn't it? If you're not working, like me. Um, all of lockdown, I've been getting up at like stupid o'clock. I think there's some kind of low level anxiety going on there. Let's move you a bit closer. There we go. Cool. Well, good morning. So this is story time, which I haven't done on here because I've been on this Facebook group, which was featured on the BBC. It's called I'm Stuck at Home But Still Want to Have Fun. It's been started by a couple of my Burning Man type friends. And it's people just kind of posting, activities or things to do. And I've been doing story time, which has been really beautiful. It started out, firstly, I thought, what can I do during lockdown so I don't go insane? So I kind of scheduled these story times throughout the week, which kind of gave me a bit of a working week when we really, couldn't go anywhere. And it was great. And I did like kids' books and I did books for adults and tried to do books where you can just jump in at any chapter so you don't have to have, tuned into all the live videos. And then I started putting them up on my YouTube channel, which is Mr. Tamarin. Don't ask me why it's Mr. Tamarin. I think YouTube just chose that name for me. But anyway, so they're all up there on Mr. Tamarin. You can check them out if you like. If you've got kids, you can check them out, and adults too. I've been reading some quite heavy stuff actually, but really just stuff that's interesting to me that I was going to read anyway. And I thought, well, we're all just stuck here, aren't we? So why don't I read with you guys? And then because I've got off Facebook because it's absolutely exhausting and I just can't deal anymore. I realised that with Twitter, I've got like loads of people on Twitter, so why not read to you guys? So here I am. It's what I do for a living anyway. Obviously, I'm an actor, but I'm also a voice artist and I do audiobooks. So reading is kind of a thing I do for hours on end into a microphone and I kind of miss it. I've done a couple of jobs now during lockdown, so it's getting a bit busier, but I've still got a lot of time on my hands. So here I am. To update you guys that haven't, obviously you probably haven't seen me doing these videos. At the moment, I'm doing this book, which is really, really interesting. It's got loads of quotes from Buddhist monks, and it touches on so many things that they kind of believe in and sort of how they go about their day to achieve enlightenment. I chose this book after Black Lives Matter happened because we had Corona and then we had Black Lives Matter as well, and it's just been amazing for that to happen, but also just so crazy and tiring. And I just thought, what can I do to help bring some peace about into the universe? And I thought, hey, why don't we get some Zen in our lives? So I've done quite a lot of the book. The last chapter was the true nature of mind, which was really cool. Just kind of learning about what Buddhists think about consciousness, and turns out they kind of think similar to me, so that's cool. But anyway, this is the shortest chapter. We're on chapter 12, and it's called The Hermit. Who feels like a bit of a hermit? I mean, I feel a bit less like a hermit at the moment. I've been seeing friends since we've been allowed to, and I've gone on a few camping trips just to get out in nature a bit more, which has been amazing. But yeah, compared to the old life of rushing around and working a lot, I definitely feel like a hermit, especially in the week when more of my friends are working. I'm just an out of work actor. So I can relate. So, shall we see what the Buddhists say about being a hermit. This is chapter 12, the Hermit. Actually, I'm going to have a sip of water because it is early in the morning. Okay. The vocation of the hermit is often misunderstood. Hermits do not withdraw from the world because they feel rejected, because they can find nothing better to do than wander in the mountains, or because they are unable to assume their responsibilities. They make their decision, which may seem extreme, because they have realized that they cannot control their mind and solve the problem of happiness and suffering amidst the endless, futile, and distracting activities of ordinary life. They are not running away from the world. They distance themselves from it to put it in perspective and better understand how it functions. They do not flee their fellow men and women, but need time to cultivate an authentic love and compassion that will not be affected by ordinary concerns such as pleasure and displeasure, gain and loss, praise and blame. Like a musician who practices scales or an athlete who trains the body, they need time, concentration, and constant practice to master the chaos of their mind and penetrate the meaning of life. Then they can put their wisdom to work to help others. Their motto might be, transform yourself to better transform the world. The chaotic situations of ordinary life make it very difficult to progress in practice and develop inner strength. It is best to concentrate solely on training the mind for as long as is necessary. The wounded animal hides in the forest to heal its wounds until it is fit to roam again as it pleases. Our wounds are those of selfishness, malice, attachment, and other mental poisons. The hermit does not rot in his cell, as some have imagined. Those who have experienced what it is really like will tell you that one matures in one's hermitage. For someone who remains in the freshness of mindfulness of the present moment, time does not have the heaviness of days spent in distraction, but the lightness of a life fully savoured. If hermits lose interest in certain ordinary concerns, it is not because their existence has become insipid, but because they choose, among all the possible human activities, those that will truly contribute to the happiness of self and others. Okay, so we have lots of quotes now. This is I enjoyed trying to say the names, but bear with me. This is from Sangye Won Re Dharma Senge. From the perfect Buddha to our present teachers, all the great spiritual masters and scholars have renounced the ordinary affairs of this life and dedicated themselves to the Dharma for the benefit of the teachings and infinite beings. Dharma is the practice of Buddhism, basically. Without being contaminated by the 8 worldly concerns, they have made the duration of their practice the duration of their lives and accepted all difficulties. Without a care for their body and their life, they did nothing but practice the Dharma in wild and lonely places or hermitages. They were not fools or people who did not know what to do with their lives, nor yet sons who did not want to manage their affairs of the families. But if we look at the practitioners of today like us, those who live like these sages are as rare as stars in the daytime. And even if there are a handful of them, they fall under the influence of the circumstances of life, and very few reach the end of the path. Hi, Jenny. If we really want to attain the ultimate goal of the Dharma, we must fulfill the 6 conditions that will lead us to appreciate solitude. The omniscient Longchenpa describes them thus. Being able to rely on one's own strength when the spiritual master is not there, having no doubts to clear up or obstacles to remove, being free of the problems of disease and harmful influences, withdrawing from the company of worldly beings, having received all the instructions to achieve one's own good and that of others, and having a clear understanding of the final and ultimate view. What view is that? I don't know. This is from Gyaltse Thokmi. In solitary places, one has no enemy to defeat, no family to protect, no superior to respect, or servant to command. What else is there to do, many reciters, than subdue one's own mind. This is Godrakpa Sonam Gyaltsen. Mind watching mind, that's this beggar's experience of practice. Cherishing others more than myself, that's this beggar's application of practice. They're very lovely quotes, even if they're a bit cryptic, and I don't like to comment too much on them, so that you can digest them as you will. This is Gyalwa Yangompa. In the lonely place, the thought of death fixed in the heart, the hermit, deeply disgusted with attachments, draws the boundaries of his retreat by renouncing the thoughts of this life, and does not meet those known as the 8 worldly preoccupations. Jigme Lingpa. Among the crowds, hatred and attachment grow, while in the wilderness, good qualities flourish. So live in the lonely mountains and watch the spectacle of your mind. From now on, blown by the wind of renunciation, light the fire of emptiness and compassion, fan the flames with the fan of attention, and burn the brushwood of the ordinary mind and its thoughts. This is Drigung Dondrup Chogyal. Catering to the 8 worldly concerns is to be like a deer caught in a trap. It exhausts its life in efforts as vain as they are interminable. Cultivate the spirit of renunciation as best you can. That's my advice from the heart. The activities of samsara are like ripples on water. As your life runs out, they never end. From now on, only have short-term projects. That's my advice from the heart. He's done these sort of almost poems before, and they always end with that advice from the heart, which is lovely. It's coming from a loving place because he cares about us all. Okay, this is Jetsun Trakpa Gyaltsen, cutting the 4 attachments. If you cling to this life, you are not practicing the way. If you cling to the cycle of existences, you know nothing of renunciation. If you cling to your own good, you're ignoring the bodhicitta. If you let your mind be attached to anything at all, you do not have the view. The view. This is Shabkar. Let the length of your practice equal the length of your life. Wander from place to place in solitary mountain retreats. I mean, it's very lovely, but not all of us can have mountain retreats, can we? Some of us have to do stuff. Oh, we're so entangled in our lives, and I think that's okay. But anyway, this is Shabkar again. In accordance with the words of my guru, I shall not leave this place until definite and genuine meditation experiences and realization arise in my being. At night, I won't sleep in the corpse-like posture of ordinary people, but will stay cross-legged and upright. At all times, rather than indulging in idle chatter, I will refrain from speaking. I will eat once a day, at noon. I will live alone. I will think of nothing but my guru's instructions. I will not seek comforts, but persevere in the hermit's life and accept its hardships. I will avoid all worldly distractions until I achieve stability in my realization. In short, not letting my body, speech, or mind stray into the ordinary, I shall practice day and night. Shabkar again. Snow lions don't freeze in snow mountains. Vultures do not fall out of the sky. Fish do not drown in water. Practitioners do not die of hunger. So, cast away this life's concerns. Give up plans for the future. And another one from him. Wondrous, remaining in lucid serenity, the state of sky-like evenness. Joyous, when day or night, indoors or outdoors, eyes open or closed, makes no difference to your awareness. Wondrous, when the world of form appears like a rainbow in the unchanging sky of the absolute dimension. Joyous, to dredge the depths of samsara, bringing all beings to enlightenment. All you whose wisdom is vast as the sky, brilliant as the unobscured sun, limpid as crystal, firm as an unshakable mountain, to you I pay homage and go for refuge. Grant me the waves of your grace. This is Rigtsin Chokyi Trakpa. Since attention is the source of all qualities, abandon distractions and, like a wounded animal who hides itself away, remain alone in a secluded place. That's my advice from the heart. If you fail to be attentive, you will do no better than wild animals that live in the wilderness. Stimulate your courage by thinking hard how little time you have left and abandon all distractions. That's my advice from the heart. How many of us are distracting ourselves at the moment? Netflix, etc., etc. Right, this is Latsun Namkai Chikmi. If you want to really practice the teaching, you must not depend on anything or anyone. If you want to have real diligence, eradicate the last trace of attachment to yourself. If you want to have real, pure vision, see the teacher in all things. If you want to have real inner calm, maintain it day and night. If you want to have real insight, let whatever you perceive dissolve in awareness. If you want to stabilize your calm and insight, stop discriminating between mind in movement and mind at rest. Lovely. So, okay. If you want to have real insight, let whatever you perceive dissolve in awareness. So awareness is being back in the present moment. Yeah. If you want to stabilize your calm and insight, stop discriminating between mind in movement and mind at rest. It's all a bit cryptic, but anyway, I move on. We've only got a little bit more left. This is from Dojom Rinpoche. It says, advice for retreat, first part. Is there a second part? I didn't see a second part. No, we just get the first part. Okay, fine. All right. Understanding that all objects of desire, combined with our habitual tendencies, are obstacles, cultivate an attitude of not wanting them. Concerning wealth and possessions, if you don't know how to be contented with just a little, once you've got one, you'll want to, and it won't be difficult for the deceiving devil of the desirable objects to enter. Whatever good or bad things people might say, don't take them as true. Have no hope or doubt, acceptance or rejection. Let them say whatever they will, as though they were talking about someone already dead and buried. No one but a qualified guru, not even your father or mother, can give correct advice. Therefore, keeping control over your own actions, do not hand your nose rope to others. Outwardly good-natured, you should know how to get along harmoniously with all without burning their noses. But in fact, if anyone, superior or inferior, comes to hinder your practice, you should be unshakable, like an iron boulder pulled by a silk scarf. It won't do to be a weak character whose head bends in whichever direction the wind blows, like grass on a mountain pass. For any practice, from the moment you begin it until you reach its ultimate end, whether lightning strikes from above, a lake springs up from below, or rocks fall from all sides, having sworn not to break your promise even at the cost of your life, you should persevere until the end. From the very beginning, you should come progressively to an established schedule of periods for practice, sleep, meals, and breaks, allowing no bad habits. Whether your practice is elaborate or simple, you should make it even and regular, never sporadic, and not even for an instant should you leave any room for the ordinary. During retreat, whether your doorway is sealed or not, you must not speak, not spy, or come face to face with others. Having completely discarded the wanderings of the restless mind, expel the stale breath and correctly assume the essential elements of bodily posture. The mind should rest upon clear awareness without wavering even for the time of a finger snap, like a peg driven into solid ground. A strict outer, inner, and secret retreat will quickly give rise to all the signs and qualities. But if for some reason you meet someone and talk with them thinking, after this I shall be very strict, after this transgression the prosperity of your practice will fade and everything will become slacker and slacker. If at the very start you make a resolute, clear-cut decision to remain seated, making your retreat progressively stricter, your practice won't be swept away by obstacles. There are many ways of checking the particular qualifications and topography of places, but in general, a place blessed by Guru Rinpoche and the great accomplished masters of the past, which is not in the hands of people who have broken their sacred links, is suitable, or, according to your preference, any utterly solitary place where favourable conditions, food and other necessities, are easily available. Always forsaking outer and inner entertainments, to dwell in non-action is to dwell in the true solitary place. As for the actual purification of your nature, the ordinary aspects are the 4 mind changes. The ordinary ones are refuge, generation of bodhicitta, purification of obscurations, and the 2 accumulations. Having practiced each of these assiduously according to the commentaries until you have truly experienced them, you should then consider the most extraordinary Guru Yoga as the vital essence of practice and persevere in it. If you do not, growth of meditation will be tardy, and even if it grows a little, it will be vulnerable to obstacles, and genuine realization will not be able to take birth in your being. So, if you pray with simple and very fervent devotion, after some time, through the transfer of the heart-mind realization of the Guru, an extraordinary realization, inexpressible in words, will certainly take birth from within. As Lama Shang Rinpoche says, to nurture stillness, experiences, and deep concentration, these are common things, but very rare is the realization born from within through the Guru's blessings, which arise by the power of devotion. End of chapter 12. There's a little footnote here. The 4 changes of mind arise from the contemplation of the preciousness and rarity of the human body, the impermanence of all things, the ineluctable law of cause and effect, and the imperfections and sufferings of samsara, this reality. Guru Yoga, literally union with the master's nature, is not only the essence of the preliminaries, but also of all practices. Guru Yoga being very important then to Buddhism. Amazing. Thank you so much for tuning in. Really love reading to people. I know it's quite an acquired taste. It does go deep into Buddhism, and I'm not kind of reading this because I think everyone should be a Buddhist. I just think it's an interesting topic, and I think for me, meditation has changed everything for me. It has given me some peace. I mean, I've got a long way to go, but if it helps to share what they think about meditation and how we should maybe sort of help ourselves out in these times, I think it's a good thing. So yeah, I do have a YouTube video with all the chapters so far from this book, apart from one very short one. And I'm going to continue doing these on Twitter, I think, just because like so many of you are here. So it's really nice to share. Yeah, so I'll be back probably very, very soon. Have a lovely day, everyone. I hope you are all well. And if you're not well right now, I hope that you're okay and you get better soon. Yeah, if you haven't tried meditation before, I would really recommend giving it a go. All right, I will see you soon. Bye. Why does it go? Why does it go so close up? It's so weird. And if I do it that way, it totally works.